You won't know who I am from what you perceive. But if you listen when we speak, then you will receive a glimpse of who I am. And then you'll believe and have a life of peace, because your soul is at ease. You see, our source is the essence of which is
There we go. Maybe that makes a difference. Maybe not. All right, at any rate, Soulful Sundays, live and direct. As we have this setup here, we do wish to maybe get a quick sound check. So let's gonna go. How we get a sound check? So let's go to YouTube. We're gonna go to YouTube, put it up on YouTube, and see if we can actually hear just a quick sound check. Yes, it does. All right, guess the sound's working. Cool. Give thanks for the twin. I'll tell you right on. 111, 111, 111. All right. Welcome again to another Soulful Discussion on this Soulful Sunday. Where the ideas we simply have engagements, activities, fellowship, where in the process of engaging in fellowshipping, and immediately after, sometime after we feel full from feeling the presence of our soul. Just want to offer a little clarity for the Soulful Sunday, the Soulful Discussion. Again, not that the soul needs to be full or refilled, because in and of itself, the soul is full. The soul is full. At least that is my person's perspective, and it is holding that perspective as an I am it perspective, as a personification of a unique expression of the all, as in a soul. Here we are. And so as a soul, this unique expression, we are complete as a soul. However, the yes and no, sometimes our persons, the physical body and its complexities, if you will, or simplicities, sometimes it can be very simple-minded, out to lunch. We may feel separate, or we may not feel complete. We may not feel full. We may feel lonely. We may feel abandoned. We may feel, no one understands us. We may feel not as loved as we have been, or feel as though we could be. All these things are different analogies to different feelings that we feel and or experience when we may not feel the fullness of our soul. So once again, Soulful Sundays is a way for us to engage with each other and the fullness so that we depart being full of our soul. There you have it. All right. And as we continue to explore with this setup, whereas no one's on talking in the studio per se, whereas the space is the studio. Right? The space is the studio, and we're looking to get a visual here so that we can see if there's any comments that happen to pop up on the screen over there. It is quite fun. And this battery is low, so I go to the phone. It's quite fun, we must say. It's quite fun. It's quite fun. And we also have a book here entitled Food from Thought. What's that? Yeah. Food from Thought of Thought. So we probably get a quote or two in from this. As we go to the comment section over here. Food from those uploads. Right. So what is food? What are food from those uploads? Well, back to the Soulful Sundays. It all ties in, Soulful Sundays. You know, get a little time to just kind of share a little bit more of our journey, you know, as we hold space as in this soulful discussion. Of course, also holding space for any questions that anyone may have about anything, any topic, anything like that. So we always stay open. And as until that time comes, we'll just continue to share a little bit more of our journey, Soulful Sundays, I admit, the Temple of Mother Earth, and how it all plays a part in our collective ascension journey. Our collective ascension journey. And even just starting with that, generally speaking, it is a collective ascension journey because everyone who resonates with, some may say, breaking the cycle of life, birth, life, reincarnation, or life, death, reincarnation. Anyway, breaking the cycle of reincarnation. If that resonates, implying some have the philosophy that as we have our experiences in this relative reality, this 3D matrix, this earth school, you know, this game of life, that if we are light enough in our vibration, we move on from this part of our existence to another part, maybe a higher dimension, maybe a 5D vibration, or, you know, as an ancestor, you know, or maybe even heaven, if that resonates. And then there's along with that, if the vibration is not high enough, then there's a return, another incarnation into another body, into this dimension, to lighten one's vibration, or become pure enough in one's vibration, light enough so that one may continue to evolve as a soul, as a consciousness, as that being of light. So that's that. If you resonate with that, then we are a collective. We're a soul tribe, baby. You know, we're the same, you know, pool, if you will. Same pool. Whether we actually know whether we are familiar with each other in the physical or not. That's just how we roll. And again, Soulful Sundays is playing this part, you know, as an offshoot of I Admit, to help to assist with holding space for that. And as we discussed, we have this cell phone. Give thanks, Olaroom Wonder Twin. Wonder Twin was like, you don't have a cell phone. You don't have a cell phone. That's great because you do want the Google Voice. But if you had a cell phone, you don't have to have a courier. You can still use the Google Voice. It's just easier to access. You know, say whether they be making a phone call or doing something, as opposed to pulling out the entire laptop. So this is where we are now. And so now have not logged into StreamYard. So now I have to go put the email in, go to Gmail, get the account to log in to StreamYard, then come back to StreamYard with that account. So, you know, we're going to gmail.com now to get the password to log into StreamYard so that we can actually see the comments a little closer, because again, we still have a little challenge with the vision per se. Yes. It's all right, because everything is all right. And while we do this here, maybe let's pull up some from this food from Thoth. And well, first of all, because this is a little bit more engaged than we thought it would be. It says manage accounts on this device. Evidently, we don't have the. Oh, here we go. Collective health condition. That's another reason why we have so many daggone different accounts. It's kind of hard to sometimes, maybe a little bit challenging to pull up the Gmail when you want to. All right, let's go with one more again. All right, go here. Gmail. I think we're a little closer. And now we're in I am Mitch. We'll go from I am Mitch to the chief. StreamYard login, baby. 611-289. 611-289. Let's see here. 611-289. 611-289. 611-289. Moving too fast. All right. And we are in the StreamYard, so we go to the studio. You ready to rock and roll? Then a child gets excited sometimes. But it's simple things. Into studio. All right, here we come. And that's what she said. So we're going to come in. Okay. Here we go into studio. All right. Uh-oh, we gotta come out. Any moment. Okay, maybe that's it. All right. Whew. We can see ourselves on this thing, indeed. Did we see the things? Oh, get you in God's time. Oh, get you in God's time. All right. So what's happening? Food from thought. What's happening? We can see the questions right here, any comments, questions going on. Let's start from the latest one. It's been a while since we actually wrote in this book. The last notation was, it says here, 4/21/23. Although we made some notes on the phone, this, that, and the other. We made some, somebody said it doesn't echo. Okay, good. Yeah, so this is my person is expanding its awareness to be aware of all that it knows, which is everything. All right, we wrote that down on 11:41 p.m. January, February, March, April. April 21st, 2023. It's actually, there are two things. 11:26, this was written. 11:26 p.m. My person should look to instantly manifest in time and space, and once mastered, then master instantly manifesting outside of time and space. which is to consciously do what you're already doing as above, so below. Look at instantly manifesting in time and space, and once mastered, then mastered instantly manifested outside of time and space. Then it wrote, my person expanded its awareness to be aware of all that it knows, which is everything. So as we look back on this over a year ago, what has come up as a suggestion is practice. Some say practice makes perfect. Some say everything is already perfect. My purpose is, of course, yes or no. Practice does improve things, and of course, it can become perfect to one's own relative perspective of what perfect is. However, we say the more that we manifest in time and space, as in little things, sometimes that's as simple as being somewhere on time. You know, being somewhere on time, and again, this is all relative, which is the time that you declare out your mouth, you see. Want to keep things simple? Because say an event starts at 11, like Soulful Sunday starts at 11 a.m. You may already be aware of that because of whatever obligations. You probably show up at 11:15, 11:20. You say, we'll be there by 11:20. Right? And so, from a broader perspective, if you show up at 11:20, or when you show up at 11:20, it's not that you're late. You know, for yourself, because this is time that you had set out. So you have manifested what you have spoken, what you have said. Yes, I will do this, regardless of what society says, regardless of what the facilitators say, regardless of what your best friend, you know, hey, so you're gonna miss out. You're gonna miss out. Get there on time. Whatever the event, let's get there on time. You know, and again, time is relative. So whatever time that you decree, I shall arrive at this time. And when you arrive at that time, what has happened? You have simply practiced manifesting what it is that you say. The desires of your will has become manifest, you see. By the same token, you say, I'm getting there 11:20, it's 11:45, I'm just showing up. You manifested, but not manifested as you said that you would manifest. Now, it would seem as though this is very maybe futile, you know. That's a word that just popped up. Don't use that word every day. We get it, it's not common. It's like, you know, it doesn't have a lot of weight. You know, what's the point of this exercise? You know, if you say you're gonna do something, if you have a right to change your mind. Yes, this is true. However, my person is speaking from this book called Food from Thoth. Thoth is another word for Tahuti. Tahuti, Thoth, Hermes, Trismegistus. You know, so Francis Bacon, Shakespeare. You know. These are all hypothesis theories. However, the theory is that Thoth Tahuti was one to keep the body first. At any rate, because it came up in a state of opening up to Tahuti, for my person, it has weight, it has relevance. And we just use time because time is one of those things where it's easy to get thrown off because of what we call color people time, CP time. You know, and of course, many cultures, many different people operate like that. However, it just seems a lot of times in the BIPOC and the indigenous community, more times than not, as a whole, if an event is scheduled to start at a certain time, more times than not, that event is scheduled later on, not at that appointed time. You know, and even with that, again, from a Thoth perspective, if it's spoken or if it's decreed that we should do this at this time, you know, the more that we adhere to what we say, then the stronger the bond is between our hearts and our minds. The stronger the bond is, between our will, those things that we intend, and our life force, our creative faculty, the divine feminine, the energy that moves, that brings forth the desires of the will. Hence, our heart and our mind coming together as one to manifest, to create the specific goal. And once this is mastered in this dimension, because you're doing it in time and space, you can easily manifest outside of time and space. Instant manifestation. This is a theory. We're simply putting it into practice now. And what that looks like personally is being mindful of how my person communicates, how it speaks. You know, it doesn't, it uses the Google Calendar now. You pull up on this phone, computers, all the devices, all the calendars, all those Gmail accounts. You got the I Admit Gmail, the Collective Health Initiative at Gmail, Soul Healing, you know, ORG at Gmail. So those 3 different Gmail accounts. And they have, and all 3 of them have their own separate events. And my person is involved in all the events. And then there's Need and Buy, you know. Don't have an email for Need and Buy, but yet there's events that goes on, which is under Soul Healing. Then there's Perfect Peace, which is the jazz band, you know, smooth jazz band my person plays with on the saxophone now. So we have gigs, so that goes on the calendar. So what you say that my person really uses Google Calendar to see those dates. It pull up at the beginning of the strong. They check out the strong at a glance, get an idea, so we can, you know, better manage our time, because we got to get out. We have to get our air up in there as well, you know. So we schedule time to relax, to rest up, to rejuvenate as we go transition from one event to the next, from one scenario to the next. And what this is doing, this is practice in manifesting, popping up in a particular location, what they call latitude and longitude on Earth, to pop up at a specific time and place in space. And this is keeping my person, because, you know, for those who may not be aware or may have forgotten or whatever, my person is looking to pop out of this 3D simulation, this flat Earth, round Earth, holographic simulation of the hologram of the all, of the infinity of the all. June 25th, 2050. So this is why this food from Thoth is my person, in the sense, writing his own Bible, basic instructions before leaving Earth, is writing his own Bible. It's called Food from Thoth Uploads. You know, there's some on the phone here, some notepads, at some point we probably get them more, if not in the same binder, at least in the same box or something like that, you know, because they may be good reading for those who may wish to look at some of the notes that he wrote when he pop up out of here. It's good stuff. It seems, because it seems simple, you know, because before it was a lot of stuff. Then the more we wrote, we started writing smaller stuff because there was an internal resonation. It resonated more internal, so we can speak a little bit and get the full meaning, right? For an example, one example. Let's come back to that was the last thing. This is the very first thing that was written. What was the very first thing that was written? Well, it may not be as long. Let's see. There was not. Let's see, 9/15/22 at 10:17 a.m. 10:17 a.m. Okay. Your thinking / masculine principle has a direct effect on what and how you're feeling / feminine principle. So the more your thinking is in line with your beliefs / feminine principle, then the better, happier, freer you feel. So, and there was something else out there here on another day that kind of goes with that. It says this is 9/20, 5 days later, 22, at 12:47 a.m. So there is a masculine and feminine form of teaching. So this is the time a person really often to that, masculine, feminine, because watch this. On in 23, this is 22, start this in 22. In January of 23, let's see. Saturday, 1/14/23 at 9:01 p.m. The private wedding. This is delicious. I just witnessed a private wedding ceremony between my person's heart and its mind. They are committed to work together as one in this, from this day forward, for better or for worse, from sickness into health, from poor into richer, until ascension we do part. So in a sense, what we're saying is that we're suggesting the importance of keeping notes in your own life. Some people call it keeping a diary, keeping a journal. You're journaling your journey, your diary, your chronicles. There's so many analogies and words that may resonate. Journal seem to resonate, journal, journey. As my person did this, because when you start reading about your thinking, your masculine principle, your feminine principle. This was in the year 2022 at the Gregorian calendar. It's like, wait a minute. And then we read the other thing about the masculine and feminine principle. Wait a minute. So masculine, feminine, anything else on the back? Anywho, we kind of jumped around a little bit, got excited because my person saw the connection. And we're going to touch on this masculine and feminine, but just to add a little bit more connection of this journey. So this is in 2022 at the Gregorian calendar year. We was off into that masculine and feminine principle, heart and mind, masculine and feminine. In 2023, there was a marriage between my person's heart and mind, the masculine and feminine. In 2024, and then later on in 2023, we'll probably say maybe about 9 months later, January, February, March, which would be the 10th month, which is like October, the 10th month. We will say we'll say in the fall season. The fall season was when the inner child began to show up more. It already began to teeter its head out, with buying the roller skates, to go skate and have a little bit more fun. Next thing is get a motorcycle. Before going to Jamaica, that's the plan, get a motorcycle. Scooting around town on a motorcycle, then go to Jamaica. So we continue to practice manifestation in this dimension. However, with this, just putting this story together, so who's the heart and the mind, the masculine and the feminine, then the inner child gave attention to the inner child. Now we're resonating more with the grandfather wisdom, which generally speaking is the family unit. You got the father, the mother, the father, and the child, and when they work together as one, there's a certain wisdom, elderly wisdom from the masculine and the feminine being as one. And then when you add the youthfulness, the innocence, the non-judgmental, just free being present of the inner child, inner child, to the wisdom of the harmony of the masculine and feminine, that's when you get the for real, my personal perspective, the true Baba, the true mama. And again, it's not about the age, it's about the maturity of have that wisdom. That wisdom, non-judgmental compassion. You understand what's happening, and you have compassion with those who are on their journey, and on their journey of self-discovery and self-realization and self-remembering. Yeah. Holy Moon says she remember that ceremony. Yeah. That's awesome. Remember that ceremony, because Yeah, we give thanks to the plants, man. You know, these plants have been a wonderful. They are wonderful teachers and healers and guides if you allow them to be. If you open up to them, if we open up to them, you know. And so we go from the plants. The plants have assisted my person in understanding itself energetically with the concepts of the information from the outside. You know, we get that information from the outside. Bye, y'all. And then, so how does this information look, and how does it manifest? And so, working with the plants allows my person to see the experiences and to see the principles in the experience. So we're able to say, oh, this is how this principle manifests, whether it's beneficial or not beneficial, beneficial or detrimental. We say, oh, shit, that's how that shit works. So we're able to see. So again, give thanks for those plants and allow as it continues to work with the sacred plants. We've got some cannabis around here somewhere, but we don't need it right, and we don't need it right now because we're reminding ourselves of, you know, how do we feel? Do we feel as though we should indulge? Or do we feel as though we're not? Just because it's here, we don't have to indulge. This is stepping into more of that grandfather wisdom, it says, because it's right here. We did not partake before coming on. I think we may have hit it like earlier on, you know, maybe around 7 or 8, something like that. You know, during that time of doing our moving and stretching to go within. But as preparing for this broadcast, like, no, feel good now. Whether it's here just in case. So we are prepared for such things. And again, as we speak about this journey of the masculine and feminine. Yep. And all the rooms that you remember, because this was the in September, there was a September ceremony, right? And this is key because even now, the 5th of September 15th, right? You're thinking, which is masculine in nature. You know, you're thinking. How we think about stuff, you're thinking. There's energy. You're putting stuff together, analyzing, thinking. You know, so there's activity going on. You know, what is thinking? What is thinking is from a certain perspective, is you're building something, like you're putting stuff together, moving stuff around, to fix something, put something together, and it's non-physical. It's all in your head. So there's a lot of moving going around in your head to organize stuff and put stuff together, because you know, whether it be a concept, an experience, looking to make some sense out of some stuff. You're moving stuff around. That's masculine. And how you move stuff around, right? How you move stuff around will determine how she feels. Who is she again? The divine, your life force, baby. You know, your prana, your breath of life, your kundalini, you know, your serpentine fire, all these different names. Or your emotions, you know, how you feel. So again, what this set the pace, set the practice for is practice. Okay. Your thinking math has a direct effect on what and how you're feeling. You're feminine. So the more your thinking is in line with your beliefs, baby. That's it. So the more that our thinking is in line with what we believe to be true, generally speaking, that's when there's an alignment between what we feel, how we feel, generally speaking. Now we got to investigate this. Oh. Well, I guess there's core beliefs and there's non-core beliefs. There's surface beliefs and there's core beliefs. Why is that so? Well, because, you know, different scenarios just came up in that same thinking, that same mind's eye. It was like thinking, just different organizations came up, said, personally, it's like, so who did somebody ask a question? You know, we're not sure all the time on who asks these questions, because, you know, there's some, the deities are inside, you know, they personified as my person's 7 major chakras. So the 7 lieutenants, you know, we're becoming more familiar with them. And so somebody just shot outside there and said, look here, you ever been in a situation, you're talking to someone, something happened, and you saw what happened, and you felt a certain way about it. But then come to find out that really wasn't what it was not what it was. So, not going into details, the principle is, we're a principle kind of guy. What it is that we didn't feel good about, because we thought, oh man, why'd you do this? That was such a why'd you do this thing? But then when you talk to the person, like, huh? I didn't do that thing. Did something else happen? Who? Come to find out it wasn't that person at all. It was like, wait a minute. But the belief, based upon the surface, was that they did this thing. So this is where it get kind of convoluted. Because the thoughts are still going on the clarity. Yet how speaking the clarity, anyway, just talk. They say just talk. Because our core beliefs, one of the foundations to our core beliefs is that our external experiences is a result of our internal vibration. And so part of this core thinking and belief would be that whatever happens, whatever experience there is, ideally is a necessity for my person's journey on in this 3D flat earth, round earth simulation holographic experience. Sound like we're going somewhere. Well, we're going somewhere already. It's not like we're going deep somewhere. That's why we're slowing down. My person realized when it's talking relatively fast, it's because this stuff is already here. We just, generally speaking, regurgitating the shit we've been talking and living for years. Now when it come up, there's relatively, wait a minute, this is a little different, some add-ons, we're going deeper. My person slows down a bit because it is unfamiliar territory, this incarnation, this awareness. We have to ease our way to the depths of this shit because it's like sensations going on up here. All right, so thinking and beliefs. That's why it seemed so simple back in 22. It's 2 years later, coming up on 2 years later. And there's still a lot to unpack with this thing, but the thinking of the masculine, how the feminine feels. So, what we're getting from this, core beliefs. Core beliefs that are foundation to the purpose of creation itself and one's own involvement in that creation, you see. So with this type of insight, some would say know thyself. When you know thyself, when you know thyself, when you're true to thyself, then you know God, the universe, and man too, nature too, you know everything. So these core foundational beliefs, such as whatever happens is a requirement now for the evolution of this consciousness on this journey. Relatively speaking, this dimension. So, which is why, if something happens, and the first thought is, why'd you do this to me? Oh, why'd you do something like that? Oh man, why you do? Oh, why you? So with this additional content, it may be a little easier to see why, even though we may have been incorrect in our thinking, oh, it was an accident. Oh, you didn't do it, somebody else did it. But the way that you were standing over the thing, the way that you did, the way that you looked, it was almost boom, that you did it. But it wasn't you, it was somebody else. Oh, okay, all right. So then I feel it shift a bit. However, it is possible to go into that thing being at peace with that childlike innocence and curiosity. Oh, ooh, no, this don't seem like it was. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, and they said it is possible. And this is personal. This is personal conversation out loud. They say, because your ass got so much shit going on, you know, when the trauma, so-called trauma happen, you start thinking of doing stuff to compensate for the pain. And you've been doing that for so long that you've gotten so far removed from being that just that pure and non-judgmental, with no matter what goes on. And how does my person know that that's true? Because as it shared that example, it felt on the inside that yeah, we can do that. It was a certain level of confidence. It was a challenge put to the test. Like, can you do that shit? It sounds good when you come out your mouth, and at the same time, it was like, we can do that. But why at the same time, it's like, we can do that. At the same time, it was like, it's going to be some work because we haven't done it in so long. Then that's what it was like, you haven't done it in so long because you've been making choices based upon the pain and hurt that you thought was pain and hurt, that you thought wasn't right. You thought it wasn't right, so you made some choices because you thought it wasn't right. And you've been doing that since you were 4 years old, you know, relatively speaking. Maybe even 3 years old. Around 3 or 4 years old, and you're about to be 52. This coming up June, 52 times around the sun. I mean, this 25th. So for almost 50 years, alhamdulillah, for almost 50 rotations around the sun. Now that's some grooves in the record. You're talking about being on a run. You're talking about going deep for almost 50 times around the sun. In various situations, in various timelines, in various dimensions, my person has been more times than not acting out of pain and hurt, acting out of a separateness of the all. Yeah. And so when things happen on the surface, it's easy to do what we call a quick judgment. Oh, okay. You know, and this is true because my person finds itself not doing as much these days. And it's not doing as much. We just imagine all the times it did do it and didn't know that it was doing it, especially when a lot of times it's permeates society. But it's not about what everybody else is doing per se. It's about acknowledging that society has a way of holding these things in its bosom, so it's easy to get caught up in, and that's okay. That allows more strength. That allows more working out. That allows more, getting our weight up to be strong to go against that grain. At any rate, yeah, this is good. So my person has gotten the insight, as it said now, on this whole grandfather, granddaddy, papa vibration. Know a lot of shit, and yet at the same time, you just laid back, allowing for the natural organic process of the evolution. Holding space, not doing too much, However, when asked, when sought out, my person shall pour the essence out into that who asked. However, if not asked, we shall hold the essence tight and just put the light on, and we hold the essence tight. And by holding it tight, it is condensed, concentrated. By being concentrated and condensed, because we hold it so tight, it emits. It is we call it. This is all fresh too. It's called piezoelectricity, which is a term that's used when you have a quartz crystal, and you apply pressure to that quartz, and you squeeze this quartz, piezoelectricity is that because there's pulsation of energy, because it's being pressure is being applied to the quartz. And darling, we are the quartz ourselves. You know, that's it. We're mainly silica. We're mainly, quartz crystal, clear quartz. So when we squeeze ourselves, whether it be physically or metaphysically, we produce piezoelectricity, baby. We emit, pulsations of negative ions in the atmosphere, which in a sense is more the positive, the healing frequencies. Negative ions, more healing frequency. So the more that we hold on and squeeze tight in our most purest essence form, our purest of essence, we're creating piezoelectricity just pulsating throughout the multiverse. All right. So yeah. So this is what's happening. This is our Soulful Sunday's discussion. If you're checking in now, coming up on the 12 o'clock hour. And we shall be getting ready to wind this thing on down. My personal suggestions are white. Give it honor, acknowledgement to Reverend Dorita Dixon Bay. Mache, libation, sound good. Our thing is about intention. As the portal is open, be intentional being intentional as the portal is open. It activates our invocation, evocation, prayer, meditation, libation, all of the above. And again, share today symbolizes the ascension ceremony for Reverend Dorita Dixon Bay. Many of you know her in different capacities. The capacity in which we engage with the most with this incarnation is that of the Institute of Spiritual Enlightenment. Later became Institute for Sacred Evolution, ISE, nevertheless, ISE. In which she was the co-founder of that institution. My personal assistant as a student teacher and office manager, for the last year of the school. And during that last year, we came together with other students and members, participants at ISE, and created what is today known as, and even then, I am it nation tribe. And what that is, again, Dorita Dixon, Reverend Dixon, they give thanks for being instrumental in saying we should do this. It is a philosophy and a lifestyle of being an example of a being with the full, but manifested full potential of the all, as a unique expression of the all. And so today, if you're in the area and or just want to send it to the ethers, from 1 o'clock to 4 p.m., from 1 to 4, at the John P. Davis Amphitheater in Capitol Heights, Maryland, right up in Marlboro Pike. There will be a ceremony there honoring Reverend Dorita Dixon Bay. And as this collection, of Nate Mines, Brother Oduno, just those two that just really just pop up because of the close proximity and working together that, Issa Rael, so these are a few of the beings that my person has been engaged in on this journey of ascension. They have ascended early, left the physical early. So we just acknowledging that we're still in communication and still contributing to the work that you've started. Holding you in space. As your legacy live on through us. And as we live on through other ancestors. That's it. Right on, my man. I'll tell you. Right on. Precious mother love. Allow expansion and boil it down for the jewels and the treasures. I say. All right. So with that being said, uh, we probably will be arriving there a little bit later. No one has come yet into the studio, but yeah, we will at least stick around for a little while longer because there's an official sound bath that does take place. So this is a little mini me, a little tea, a little sip, if you will. Little sip, if you will. Again, it's all a part of the Soulful Sunday experience. Ideally, when the discussion happens, it's more of the intellectual discussion of these things. And then once we have the intellectual discussion, then we bring out the sound bath, the singing bowls, and we relax into what does it feel like? What does it feel like with the esoteric information, the knowledge, the mysticism, the uploads that came? What does that information feel like? Because we spoke about thinking and feelings. Thoughts, they do have feelings. If you allow thoughts of vibrations, and if you open up to the interpretation for you, then you will feel a particular caliber of vibration, which we call emotion, whether it be joy, bliss, anxiety, anxiousness, whatever the case may be. So that happens. So again, we encourage you to be in the area, come on through, whether it be for the discussion only, or the sound bath only, or if you want to make a day of it for both of them. And then once a month we do have the healing with YesYouAre, which my person also plays the sound bowl for that. That takes place at 3:45 once a month on the Sundays. But aside from that, there's the African drumming and dancing that does take place at Kindred Souls. More than free, welcome to partake in that. And other than that, Temple Mother Earth is right here, templemotherEarth.org. If anyone else has anything they would like to maybe put in the chat, because they will stay up and on the recording, they will be seen. So anything else you would like to put out there, maybe we can put in templemotherEarth.org over here. Let's see. How do we possibly do this? Do we have to be in the studio to do this? Maybe. Let's see. Put it sideways, see if it's changing the thing. Oh, they haven't been in the studio to do this. Let's see if the sound come on again. Oh, well. Well, Temple Mother Earth, you guys know it. TempleMotherEarth.org. All right. We out of here about to sign off and, maybe grab something to eat. It's going to be a long day. Got rehearsal at Creative Suit later on today, so that's that. Feels good. Let's jam our way on up out of here, shall we? Making that joy for now, baby. making that joyful noise. Yeah, mess around with that dang old thing, got the echo to come back. All right, had to mute everything again. All right, that's it. Yeah, move. To the next time, gods and goddesses.